Today we're going to review the patient experience when conducting a telemedicine visit through eClinicalWorks. In order for patients to take advantage of this service, they must first have an active email address on file in the EMR and must also be web-enabled. For patients viewing this video, this will be completed by your healthcare provider and staff, so no additional action is required on your part. Upon web enabling our patients and scheduling their televisit appointment, there are 4 different ways the patient can initiate the televisit itself. The first is through a hyperlink that is provided in an appointment reminder email sent at time of scheduling to that email address we have on file for our patients. The hyperlink in that email must be opened in either the Google Chrome browser or Firefox. It is not functional with Internet Explorer. The second option is using a hyperlink provided in a reminder text that is also sent to our patients at time of appointment scheduling, as long as we have a mobile phone number on file. This hyperlink may be opened directly from the text message and is compatible with the default browsers on both Apple and Android devices. The third option is using a Helo app that can be downloaded from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. The login credentials will match those used by patients to log into their patient portal on a computer or laptop, and the setup takes about 5 minutes. Patients may also use this app to review limited personal health information and take some other actions that are outside the scope of this training today. The fourth option for initiating a televisit is the one that we'll cover in detail, and that is logging into the patient portal directly from a desktop or laptop computer using the patient portal username and password that were set up by our patients upon being web enabled. The screen we're looking at now is the home page for the patient portal. I have my test patient's username here, and the password has been saved, so at this point we'll log in. The home screen of the patient portal has several different areas that patients can interact with. We're going to focus on the far left in this appointment section here. This reminder card that we're looking at shows us information for the most recently scheduled appointment. Just want to draw attention to this orange video camera icon in the upper right corner with the letters TV in it. That indicates that this appointment is a televisit, and we'll also see a Join Televisit button and this View Televisit FAQ button at the bottom of the screen. If patients would like additional detail on the appointments that they have scheduled, they can also click this View All button. And from this view, we'll see that our appointment reminder card looks a little bit different, but the information is the same. So we still have this marked as a televisit with the orange speech bubble and the word televisit above the appointment reminder card. This next line confirms the provider that the patient will be seeing, the physical office location that the appointment is scheduled with, the date and time of the appointment, and again we see these Join Televisit and View Televisit FAQ buttons. It would be a good idea for patients to review the FAQs prior to the appointment, especially if this is the first televisit encounter they have participated in, just so they can get familiar with expectations for how the visit will be conducted prior to actually interacting with the provider. Once the patient has reviewed the televisit FAQ document, they may click the Join Televisit button to begin initiation of the televisit itself. This next screen will allow for patients to enter vital information that may be reviewed by the provider prior to and during conduct of the televisit. As you can see at the top of the screen, entering this information is optional. So if our patients aren't sure about any of these values, they don't have to enter the information. For purposes of the training, I'm just going to put some data in here, and then we'll move on using the next button in the bottom left corner of our screen. Next window that appears is a system compatibility check. Our patients will not have to configure anything on this page. The web page will default to the camera and microphone that are used by other programs on their machine, so no changes should be required here. The main takeaway is that we want green check marks on the right-hand side of each line item. My webcam is muted, otherwise we would see the patient's video feed here in this black box in the camera section, and this green bar moving up and down just lets us know that our microphone is receiving sound input. Once we confirm there are green check marks for all line items, we click the Proceed button. At this point, we're taken to the televisit consent form. This is for our patients to acknowledge their acceptance of conduct of a televisit versus an in-clinic visit to review their concerns and be seen by the provider. Once we click Proceed, all information has been submitted successfully. We see the confirmation here, and we'll click this Start Televisit button. The next screen will take us to a virtual waiting room that confirms the provider that the patient will be seeing. Again, we confirm our appointment date and time. We also see that questionnaires and vitals have been entered. If our patients need to change this information at any point before the televisit has been initiated by the provider, they may use this review link to actually go back to that vital screen and make changes to the information. While on this screen, patients will hear a chiming sound every 5 to 10 seconds to let them know they are actively waiting for the provider and that the screen has not frozen. At this point, we have initiated our televisit, or rather the provider has initiated the televisit with our patient. Again, my webcam is muted, otherwise we would see the provider's video feed here where the silhouette appears. Several items to draw attention to from this view. Number one, we have our provider video feed, like I said, in the center of the screen here where the silhouette appears. The patient's video feed would appear in the lower left corner in this greenish yellow box. Throughout the televisit, the patients will be able to view this timer in the bottom right corner that allows them to see the total time they've spent with the provider. For the buttons at the bottom center of the screen, the first is a mute button. This will mute the patient's audio feed, but the provider will still be able to view the video. This pause button here pauses the patient's video feed. However, if the audio is not muted, the provider will still be able to hear the patient. The red button allows the patient to end the video encounter. This gear button will allow patients to actually change the camera and microphone inputs. Again, this will be automatically configured when the patient initiates the televisit and goes through that system compatibility check. So no changes should be required here, but just in case there are any technical difficulties, the patient does have the ability to change the camera and microphone inputs. Also, if they experience technical issues while connecting with providers or after connecting with their provider, this help button in the upper right corner will connect patients to a live eClinicalWorks technician chat session so that they can troubleshoot in real time and get the televisit back on track. The last button at the bottom here is a speech bubble that allows our patients to chat with the providers via instant messaging. So if we click this speech bubble, we'll see a messenger window appear on the right-hand side of the screen, and patients may send messages to their provider. The entire transcript of the conversation will be stored in this window and may be scrolled through until the televisit is terminated. Once that is completed, the patients will not be able to refer back to this again. If they'd like to minimize that chat window, just click the speech bubble icon again and we'll get our full screen video back. And at this point, our patients are ready to participate in the televisit with their provider. Upon completion, they will receive a message that states the televisit is completed, and at that point, they may close the window.